First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to Fox 12 Now. That is a live shot out at the Oregon coast from our Chinook Winds camera. That is there in Lincoln City, and it looks very inviting to be out there. I'm not going to lie. I do kind of want to be out there, but those waves are a little bit dangerous right now. You got to be careful. There's some sneaker waves that are happening, and that's what we're going to be discussing here. This was National Weather Service that put this out. Again, I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now. We are live streaming on our website, our apps, and on Facebook and YouTube as well. So thank you for joining us. We cover a wide range of segments here on this show, including talking about important things that you need to know if you're going to be getting outdoors here in the Northwest, particularly over at the Oregon coast. To talk about this today, we have joining us once again, Charles Loos, the ocean coach, who is here with us. And Charles, it's great to have you back here on the show to talk about this. I always love our segments because I learn a lot about what to do and what not to do when going out and enjoying the waterways and the ocean and even the rivers and lakes here in Oregon. But this one seems like it's a pretty big one that people should just be aware of what's going on when it comes to sneaker waves.
It's always a pleasure to be with your viewers.
And Charles, so let's start off just to give everybody a refresher, and I think this is important, a refresher or maybe just an education on what exactly a sneaker wave is.
You know, if you ask 5 oceanographers, you'll get 5 different answers. The answer is we're not quite sure. Some people think that a couple of swells will pile on top of each other and create one big wave. I don't hold to that particular view very much. I think, you know, we don't really need to go into that. We can do that some other time. I think what your viewers want to know is, what does this thing look like when they're on the beach? And if you could go back to that shot of the coast, that'd be really helpful.
There we go.
So what'll happen is all of a sudden the water will advance up the beach, and it may be 2 feet deep, it may be 4 feet deep, and this sheet of water will just come up the beach, and right where those seagulls are sitting, that would become inundated. It would not stop. It would be a wall of water. It would come up clear to the dry sand, maybe all the way up to the boardwalk or whatever you have. So, and you can't necessarily see it coming. You won't necessarily see a big wave out there. It's more that the water just decides to climb up the beach 2 to 4 feet deep. And that's really the hazard of the thing.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it seems like it would be very difficult to know, as you mentioned, you know, predict when that's going to happen. You know, right now I'm looking at this, just looks like a normal scene, but at any moment, this is something that could happen where the water could just come in like that, like almost, I'm not going to say a tidal wave, but, you know, that kind of feeling where this rush of water comes in 2 feet deep.
It's a rush of water, and the hazards are a couple. One, of course, can knock you off your feet, knock your dog off your feet, and you go skidding up the beach in 3 feet of water in panic mode. But it also collects the logs and the debris up at the top of the beach and sucks those back down. And now you've got not only waves and water, you've got logs, which are battering rams. So it can be really, really quite dangerous. And you know, the old advice is don't ever turn your back on the ocean. That is so valid. The saltier you get as you go in life, the more you adhere to that, because it's a thing.
Now, when one of these waves are to come up, how often does it happen? Is there any way to predict that, or is it still just kind of a general, just be aware that this is a time frame when this could be happening?
You know, it might happen once a day. It might happen 4 times a day. It might happen 3 times in a row. If we knew that, it wouldn't be so dangerous. We really don't. We really don't, Greg.
And that's fair enough. So this is something that when there is, you know, a warning issued like this, that you need to watch out for it. That's pretty important. So how often are these warnings issued? Is this something that you need to worry about every time you're at the coast, or is it really, generally speaking, just during specific times?
We are at the tail end of the winter sneaker wave season, which really starts in October and then peaks in November. There's some in December. We're a little late, but that November, December time period is when we have peak reports of sneaker waves. There's another peak in March. We don't see them in the summer too much, which is a good thing. But these winter waves, that's really when they happen.
And what are some important things that people should know? I guess just tips and tricks. If you're going out to the Oregon coast, there is a sneaker wave warning. What are some tips and tricks that people should know just to make sure that they stay safe?
You know, guard the little ones, your dogs, your kids, your elderly. Stay back farther from the water than you think, and stay higher from the water than you think, because these things are rather breathtaking when they come. If if you get knocked down. Hope you don't, but better to float on your back and ride it up the beach rather than panic and fight it. Let it do the work of skidding you up the beach. And once the water stops, put your feet down and make your stand and get out of there. Likewise, if your dog gets swept away, wait for that water to bring it up to you. Because when you put your feet down, you want to be as far away from the ocean as you possibly can. So that's kind of a first aid kind of thing. Hope you don't ever get in that situation.
Yeah, but I think that is good, definitely good advice if somebody does find themselves in that. So just to lay down on your back and let the waves sweep you inland.
Let it do the work. Let it do the work. Now, if you're on a rocky headland, oh gosh, I don't know what to say. Don't do that. And if you're in a boat, you will see it as an actual wave. But I don't think you should be on a boat at this time of year, Greg.
Yeah, that sounds like that's a good advice, especially with how it is out there right now. So something else too that was issued in this National Weather Service tweet that they put out, it was talking about avoiding jetties and watching out for logs that could be rolling up there as well. So what is it about sneaker waves that makes it especially dangerous when it comes to logs?
Well, the first sneaker wave will go all the way up the beach, and whatever logs are up there at the high tide line, it'll capture them and roll them back down the beach. And then the next one, they're rolling all around. So if you imagine these sheets of water coming up, waves, it's all confused, and these giant logs running around. If you get hit by one of those or pinched between one of those, or one of them rolls over you, there is actually quite a few deaths that happen, not so much from the sneaker waves, but from the logs. So be careful of that one.
So be aware of what's on that beach when you're walking down it as well. In addition to watching the wave, be aware of where those big logs are that are hanging out there.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is sneaker wave season is when the water is cold. And if you get hit and the water is 48 degrees or 52 degrees, you're going to get that gasping, and so you really need to watch that you don't drown in 2 feet of water. And it's the cold. Listen, if someone gets hit by a sneaker wave, you help them out of the water. Hypothermia is going to be the big thing. Get them into a car, turn on the heater, whatever, because the adrenaline will keep them going for a while, but you got to get those people warm quickly.
So yeah, that is a great thing to know. So, and again, all of this is great advice, but should you be in one, lay on your back and also get that person who is in the water, get them out of those clothes into someplace warm to warm up, because 48 degrees, I didn't realize the water, I know it's cold at the Oregon coast, but dang, that is really cold.
It might be 52 or 53, but somewhere in that range. And then the other thing is the sneaker wave, sometimes a precursor to a sneaker wave is the water goes out. It goes out very far. Wow, that's great. The kids run down, they're collecting shells, the dogs, everybody runs down through the water line, which is terrible because here comes that sneaker wave. So stay away from the water. Yeah, okay, that's perfect. Yep.
Yeah, taking a look right there. So just stay back from the water. Don't risk it. Essentially,
don't risk it.
Right
No, don't risk it.
It's not worth it to run down there and get into that. Well, any other advice that you think people should know just about this?
I'll just say the usual thing. Enjoy this phenomenon. It is fantastic. It's a fantastic force of nature. It's something we don't quite understand. So if you're privileged to see one, you're seeing something special, as long as you don't get hurt.
Just stay up off the beach and watch it from there. Perfect.
Yep.
Well, Charles, thank you very much, for joining us and explaining this a little bit for everybody too, and also letting people know what to do in the event that you do get hit by one of those, how to try to get yourself out of that situation. The one other thing I did want to just touch on again, that you mentioned the animals. So if a dog is swept out, what would be the protocol there for that if say one of your pets gets swept up in one of these?
Well, the wave is going to bring them up the beach toward you. So rather than doing a heroic run down to get your dog, let the water bring the dog to you to some extent, because then when you snatch the dog, you're higher up on the beach and you're both have a better chance than if you're, down a little bit way. And you got to use your judgment. Not every situation is the same, but it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, rather than that instant panic of, we got to run out and go get my dog. Wait a second, and maybe, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Let the wave do the work. Charles, finally here too, just want to let everybody know, where can they follow along with what you do, and especially people who maybe want to follow up with more expertise and guidance with you.
I am the Ocean Coach. You can find me at theoceancoach.com. I teach boating safety. I teach people how to cross the bar, go out. I teach navigation, and I teach beach safety as well.
Fantastic. Well, Charles, thanks for being here, and for everybody joining us. This is Fox 12 Now, so I appreciate you you joining us as well. Charles, thanks a lot. Really great to have you on here today.
My pleasure.
All right, and for everybody joining, so coming up at 2 o'clock today, we're going to be joined by Eric G. from Around the House Northwest. We're going to be talking about some spring project tips for your home. A lot of people are gearing up to be doing some work on your homes. You know, it is a little bit nicer weather right now, so you're probably thinking of those spring projects. That is something that we'll be discussing here at 2 o'clock, along with a preview of Around the House Northwest. And of course, if there's breaking news, we'll have that as well, all right here on Fox 12 Now. So I appreciate all of you joining us. Hit subscribe if you're watching on on YouTube or Facebook. If you haven't already done that to the Fox 12 Oregon pages, certainly do that. But also download the app. The Fox 12 Oregon app is a great way to watch all the segments that we cover on here and everything else that we do. So thanks for doing that, and I will talk to you soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.